UEFA have radically shaken up the way international football in Europe will work for potentially years to come. But it starts with the UEFA Nations League, and we're going to predict the first ever edition of it. We could fall flat with egg on our faces, or we could be hailed as the next prophets with these predictions. And we are starting with the bottom of the pile, League D Group 1. Now, that contains Georgia, Latvia, Kazakhstan, and Andorra, and these are ordered in terms of seeding. Now, I have gone with it in the order that they're seeded. I think that Georgia are going to get promoted, certainly.
Yep.
Well, you say your prediction, but Latvia, I think, are just a bit more quality than Kazakhstan.
I'd say Kazakhstan in second and Latvia third.
I think Andorra aren't really good enough to challenge those teams at the moment. But yeah, Georgia, they just have one or two players that I think is too good for this level. And I think they might even be looking at Euro 2020 spot. I mean,
that's a fair possibility, yeah.
They've got a few good players like that. Kvitaya, I'm going to ruin these names. Kasiashvili plays in the MLS. Kochlava for the Ukrainian champions Shakhtar Donetsk. These are good players, at least at this level. And of course they have a few second tier players from bigger divisions, especially Spain. I reckon they're too good for the other three teams. Andorra don't really have it in them, I think. It's actually going away to Kazakhstan. That's going to be very tough for them.
One of the most Western European nations, going to one of the most easterly, is going to be a difficult travel. But then, equally, the same could be said.
I think that Kazakhstan will fare better in Andorra, although they do have the 3G pitch in Andorra. Either way, I don't think any of you want to listen to us talk about League D1 for too long. So we're going to do our D2 league predictions now. Now that contains Belarus, Luxembourg, Moldova and San Marino, and I think that Luxembourg will top it.
Yeah.
And I'm going, perhaps just to be different, or perhaps it's a bit of bias because I like them, but I reckon San Marino will come third ahead of the Moldovans.
I'm thinking San Marino will come bottom.
Belarus second.
I mean, it will be tight between Moldova and San Marino.
The thing is, Moldova...
Inequality of shyness.
Moldova are rather unimpressive. San Marino, I think... I know I'm going to sound like an alcoholic 50-year-old divorced man, but San Marino have more passion. I genuinely think that. I'm not saying I know.
Passion. Brexit means Brexit. Passion.
The San Marinese players who've been used to playing Germany and getting battered and stuff will now see the Nations League. Oh good. Oh shit. We've got big games now. We're in a group. We can beat players. Now I don't think they will win, but they might have some belief. Now choosing between Luxembourg and Belarus, not so easy. But Luxembourg and Belarus. Luxembourg obviously had quite a strong qualification for the 2018 World Cup. For their standards, they were in the same group, Group A, as the Belarusians. As I say, I think that Luxembourg are on a high. They've got a good kind of setup. Belarus don't really have any particularly standout players. I think Luxembourg will be looking for promotion. I don't think Luxembourg will be going to I was going to say what country, but then of course UEFA have done something pretty stupid with the Euros. That's a rant for a different time, though.
Yeah, that certainly is.
Division 3 is made up of Azerbaijan, the Faroe Islands, Malta, and Kosovo. Now, this is quite a tricky one, and I'm going to go Azerbaijan top, I think.
Yeah, I've gone for Azerbaijan. I've gone for Kosovo second, simply because while they're a new nation, they have got the quality of players that, such as Valon Behrami, that have switched allegiance to Kosovo since they became both a UEFA and FIFA member. They've got a much stronger side than the Faroese or the Maltans.
The thing with Malta and the Faroe Islands, I reckon the thing is, I reckon Kosovo will come bottom. That's my prediction, but I'm not really sure about the other three. I mean, the Faroe Islands have been on have probably their best team in their 23-odd year history as a full member. And Malta could swing a surprise. I'm going to go Faroe Islands second, Malta third, and we move on. Thank God we're out of this turgid league almost. Division 4. It's made out of Macedonia, Armenia, Liechtenstein and Gibraltar. Let's get this over and done with quickly. Rowan, what do you have?
Armenia top, Macedonia second, Liechtenstein third, Gibraltar fourth.
And that's exactly
I'm a massive fan of Gibraltarian football, but they're shocking.
Fan. The Gibraltar Ultra. Yeah, fucking come on, let's go Gibraltar. Score one goal against Ireland or whoever you scored against in Euro 2016.
Gibraltar is British.
Wow.
And that's all the Spanish viewers gone. Adios!
Well, what?
They scored a goal against Scotland. Lee Casiero in the 23rd minute meant they equalised 1-1 as their first competitive goal.
They did beat Slovakia 1-0 in a friendly, but...
Yeah, but friendlies are friendlies. That's the point of this. No more friendlies.
Alright.
Brexit means Brexit.
Friendly exit. Armenia are the only player with a top quality, only team with a top quality player in this entire league.
Henrik Mkhitaryan.
Yeah. As much as I like to laugh at, as much as I want Gibraltar to do well, they're shit. Liechtenstein aren't much better, to be honest. Macedonia. I mean, to be honest, Macedonia could win against Armenia. I'm not going to watch because I don't care. But yeah, Armenia probably favourites. Right. We go on to people that know what a football is, into League C now. And this one's going to be a bit more complicated because UEFA are doing their stupid comparing teams from two different groups that they love to do. But we'll start with C1. Now we'll order the teams and then pick who the worst third place team is. Here. We've got Scotland, Albania and Israel. Now, I've gone for Albania top, Scotland second and Israel third. And the reason for that is I just feel that Albania will be up for it more than Scotland. I think that the Scots might be a bit naughty and put experimental teams. Perhaps because they would feel that they'd be guaranteed World Cup qualification if they accidentally got relegated. But I think Israel at the moment, I mean, they've got some established players, but they don't really have the quality.
In C1, my view actually differs. I would put Scotland first and then Albania second, Israel third. I mean, that's part biased because I'm a Scotland supporter, but I do agree with Patrick's view of the experimental size, especially given that we still don't know who our new manager is. Scott Gemmill at the moment is favourite, along with Alex McLeish and Malky Mackay. Albania, they did qualify for Euro 2016, but I think the Scottish, despite experimental sides, have more overall quality than the Albanians. And
I'd agree with that.
And Israel, that's
what I said about
I mean, they have their own domestic league, which you have to credit them for.
Which has quality.
However, Israeli players don't tend to play outside that league, and therefore...
if you look at Israel, how much better are they than teams in League D? Macedonia and Armenia, for instance, and Georgia are probably just as good. And when you're talking about Scotland, did they not move to a new stadium? Correct me if I'm wrong.
This is a debate that's actually come up recently because obviously the home of Scottish football is Hampden Park, and that's currently owned actually by Queen's Park, the football club. The first football club in Scotland. They competed in the English FA Cup, etc. But Scottish Rugby put in a bid for Murrayfield to host Scotland's games, and Hearts played there at the beginning of the season while Tynecastle was being renovated. But actually, Hearts, from what I can tell, it wasn't that great an experience for Hearts, and I would rather keep the rugby and football separate, especially in national terms. You look at, because Scottish Rugby actually have a lot of cup finals there. Edinburgh Rugby and Glasgow Rugby.
The Six Nations.
They have the Six Nations, the Autumn Internationals, but then they've got club sides playing finals every other week for some reason. They've got Edinburgh Rugby will sometimes play that. And if you look at the Medeski Stadium in particular, I always bring this up, where Reading and London Irish play with each other, the pitch by January is shocking.
Well,
for a championship premiership
if you're
club.
talking about scheduling, I mean, mid-season internationals are in June, they can be moved. But then the Six Nations can stretch into late March when Nations League matches or Euro qualifiers will be playing. I'm not sure how willing the Six Nations would be to let Scotland move, and then so the football team will have to move, and that's its own problem.
Well, Scottish Rugby has put in this bid, but I would rather that, and obviously it's the biggest stadium in Scotland, but I would rather that Scotland played at Hampden, or sometimes they'll play in other grounds such as Pittodrie, although Aberdeen have permission to build a new stadium. I'd rather see them play there, or Celtic Park, or Ibrox, rather than playing at another sports stadium, essentially.
Well, anyway, this isn't a Scotland.
This isn't a Scotland-focused thing. If you want to talk to me about Scotland, talk to me about Scotland.
So, yeah, we'll move on, because we have the excitement of C2. Some of the big names like Hungary, Greece, Finland and Estonia. Now, the most obvious thing I can take from this is that Estonia will get relegated. I don't know how they managed to shithouse their way into League C and the coefficient.
Right.
I think they'd be quite annoyed, because I think they'd rather be in League D where they'd have the chance of qualification.
Although I think that's the thing with correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's the thing with Poland as well, where they just don't play any friendlies, so
yeah,
their relative points or
and that's something that Nations League is going to help as well. Actually, I don't think that affects the coefficient.
It affects the world.
FIFA
It affects the world rankings, because I remember reading somewhere Poland only played one friendly in 2015 or 16, and they finished 9th in the world simply because they didn't lose friendlies, but because they didn't play friendlies.
Exactly, and if you're talking C2, I think the seeding is probably right. I think Hungary will. I mean, they're not that
Hungary,
good.
I believe, will come top. It's a question of who comes second and third.
Yeah, because third place teams, the worst third place team. Do you know what? I hate when UEFA or FIFA or whatever does this, where it's not based on your position within the group. It's also based on other teams. It's not something I like that much. But I put it in the order of the seeding: Greece, Finland, and Estonia.
I put Finland and Greece, but then for me, both of them are rather unknown quantities.
Yeah. Well, these are the big matches. This is why we love the UEFA Nations League. C3, Slovenia, Norway, Bulgaria and Cyprus. We probably should have done A first, because everyone watching would have fallen asleep by now.
Quite.
But we're building up.
Especially me droning on about Murrayfield or Hampden.
But yeah.
If you're still here, thank you.
Yeah, so Mum. C3, Slovenia, Norway, Bulgaria. That is such a low quality group, I have to admit. I probably think that Norway will win that.
Yeah, I'm thinking Norway, Slovenia, Bulgaria and Cyprus. I mean, Cyprus, they're in a league of their own of being shite.
Cyprus are quite poor. Yeah, Cyprus are...
They're really a D side, but again,
Bulgaria,
coefficients.
you know, in any of those three teams, I think I'll just move on from that boring group.
Right.
Group 4, I was taking a piss. There is actually a match I'm going to watch in this, because Romania and Lithuania are joined by Serbia and Montenegro.
Oh, that's a belter, isn't it?
Yeah. The UEFA Emergency Committee have their...
The communists are at it again.
But yeah, so, okay. First I'm going to say something obvious. Lithuania are coming bottom.
Yep.
Now, this is where it gets tricky. I think that Romania just have something that the other two don't, but in another instance, Serbia topped their qualification group for the World Cup, which included Republic of Ireland, Wales, and Austria. So I'm going to actually put Serbia top, Romania second, and Montenegro third.
Montenegro have quality, but in a group such as that, I'm saying Serbia, Romania, and Montenegro simply because you look at Serbia, they topped their World Cup group. Romania qualified for the Euros, I believe. Correct me if I think they did. So they've got quality.
So now, as well as the three bottom place teams in C2, 3 and 4, one third place team, and it compares to the top two teams to make it slightly more fair, will go down. Now, I'm thinking Israel against Scotland and Albania might survive. I'm reckoning, looking at that, Finland against Hungary and Greece. I know you have them second, so it'll be a different choice. But I reckon that... I'm going to say that Finland go down as the worst third place team.
I think in C2 there will be a lot of tight matches and a lot of draws, and not many points will be on offer. So whoever finishes third, it will certainly be a struggle for them to.
Because matches against Estonia, if we assume they come bottom, won't count, and
even then, matches against Estonia are still fairly difficult. They're not.
So who are you having coming down in that?
Well, for C2 I have third place of Greece, but Finland or Greece. Simply because there aren't many points.
When you edit this, you're putting Greece on the screen. Now we go into B, where Group B is probably one of the most intriguing leagues in the competition. We start with another grudge match as Ukraine are joined with Czech Republic and, can you guess?
Slovakia.
Indeed.
Czechoslovakia and the Ukraine.
It's united yet again.
Although
Ukraine.
A side note, didn't the Czech Republic change their name to Cheshire or something?
They might. I think they did at the UN, but they didn't in FIFA. So it's kind of like, even if they did change their name, how the country's called the Republic of Korea, but they're Korea Republic or China PR or Chinese Taipei for that matter. It's one of them. But anyway,
no, it's still called Czech Republic according to the internet.
The Ukraine, Ukraine have probably the most quality there. But I reckon they'll flatter to deceive somewhat and just kind of flop, because that's something they've been doing a bit recently. And I reckon it will be Slovakia 1, Czech Republic 2, Ukraine 3. What do you think?
I'm saying Czech Republic first, simply because I think they've got Slovakia have good players in Jan Oblak.
That's Slovenia. The thing,
they've got a half decent keeper, Marek Hamšík, in particular.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to pick Slovakia because they have one really top player, which is Marek Hamšík.
Yeah. But then I would say that Czech Republic have an more all-round team.
And are you also going Ukraine to?
Ukraine third.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I think Ukraine have a lot of quality, but they just don't have the... I guess they suffer from a problem that England faces, the same problem England faces. Russia, Sweden and Turkey. Now that is a very meaty group. Three contrasting styles. Now I reckon that Russia... it depends how they do in the World Cup or not. I think that... Well, they've got an easy group in Russia.
Conveniently so.
Yes.
No comment.
And Vladimir will be looking to hope that his boys will do quite well. But if they're in,
Where the Vladdy boys making all the noise everywhere we go.
he's even doing like the moves to that. You won't be able to see, but he's like dancing.
Where the Putin boys making all the noise everywhere we go.
Sweden, on the other hand,
Apologies from A, my singing.
by
B,
I'm not
even. I have had no alcohol, and yet I'm still acting as if I am Yada.
See, this is why these been going on, because this is such a tough group to predict. I think by 2018, late 2018, Sweden will be better than they are now.
Sweden, Russia, Turkey, end. That's mine.
I was thinking Sweden first, but then Turkey, they've got some good players too, but they are aging. So I'm going to have to say that quite unfortunate for them, they faced a drop. B3, you've got a very diverse group. You've got Austria, the group that gave us Adolf Hitler, Bosnia and Herzegovina, with
the group that gave us, what's his face?
No, he was Serbian. I know you're thinking of, but Bosnia were the people they persecuted. Well, no, but he was a Bosnian Serb. So hopefully hopefully Bosnia and Herzegovina.
So hold on, it's Hitler against the bloke you might know who we're talking on, against Jerry against Jerry Adams.
You missed the mark on that because I was doing Ian Paisley. So you have
I went for a different side of the line.
You have three types of bigoted Christianity. You have Ian Paisley's version, Slobodan's version, and
that's his name.
And Adolf Hitler's version. Now, hopefully, Bosnia will be hoping to have powerful top corner shots rather than Slobodan shots and fall off the edge into League C.
I can't actually, but you know,
there was a shot. It wasn't that big. That was a catch shot. That's a good joke. End of. No more discussion. Austria, Bosnia, Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland, Austria, Bosnia for me, just because I like Northern Ireland. It's the football side.
No, I'm going Austria top. Even though they're not that good, I think they're just. Yeah, well, they've got an easy group, to be quite honest. Bosnia, unfortunately, will be.
Will Grigg, end. Yeah. Finn, he's still on fire. We talked about that in the podcast, actually. Go watch that.
Yes.
Listen to it.
Watch Possession Football podcast on YouTube. Watch it. The URL is in the description. Anyway.
You made me do more editing. No, scrap that.
An annotation on the screen.
Like, it will be a recommended video or something. If not, just click on the channel. I can't be bothered.
There'll be an annotation and the little I you press, top right corner. It'll be there.
Yeah, you aren't pressing an I. You ain't pushing my buttons.
I already have, to be honest. D4, Wales, Republic of Ireland, Denmark. Now, in this group of inbredity, I think we can call it, the Danes will be fancying their chances here. Because they're playing against a group of people that shag people they're not meant to. And I think Denmark have more quality.
I'm saying Denmark first. You saw how they played against the Republic in the playoffs for the World Cup, and they were impressive. Wales, they're tailing off a bit, especially, and who knows what gigs will bring to the managerial role.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Apart from his sister-in-law.
God damn it, bro!
Yeah, you see, this isn't the podcast for a reason.
Can you imagine if we went through? Can you imagine how many people would click off the podcast? Because people that clicked on this video clearly want to know what people think about Belarus and Luxembourg for some reason. If we did that in the podcast, everyone would stop.
Right, here we go. Who have we offended so far? We've offended the Northern Irish, the Austrian, the Bosnians, the Welsh, the Irish,
and of course, Rowan will be putting every team
the Russians
on the screen.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. What you get is a big diagram of the draw, right?
No,
so you know what we're
doing
talking
the
about.
predictions.
Who else have we offended?
Look at him looking at Israel and all excited and noticing we didn't even
Gibraltar. No, he didn't say anything about Israel because we're good boys. Gibraltar, we said something.
Well, we just said their football team's shit, but that's quite accurate.
Yeah, but we said Gibraltar.
Anyway, B4 Wales, Denmark, Wales.
Gibraltar is British. That doesn't even work.
Denmark 4 Wales, Denmark, Wales, Republic of Ireland. What have you done?
Denmark, Republic of Ireland, Wales.
Right, and now
the big boys.
Right, no one cares. That's the end. We all.
Here we go. Right, A1. It's
Germany.
It's basically can I not talk about the war, please?
You cannot. Right, okay. The easiest thing I've had to put all day is.
All I'm saying is France and Netherlands will surrender.
He didn't do an Aussie to that. He did the Alan Shearer. Yeah, Netherlands are getting relegated.
Yeah, I'm actually saying France will come top. Because they've got a very. Some may say inexperienced, but I'd say a youthful side, and actually it's quite impressive with.
Germany will play their Confederations Cup team against Netherlands and still win.
Quite Dutch football is in the shitter at the moment, and there's no other way you can put it.
No.
Unfortunately, for a team that came fourth in the 2010 World Cup, third, yeah. For the DIR, Patrick Green is making suggestive comments saying I have got the correct answer.
A2. See? Belgium, Switzerland, Iceland. Belgium, Switzerland, Iceland. I'm going to say
Belgium, Iceland, Switzerland, Iceland are very impressive.
The quality of analysis has severely declined.
Iceland are very impressive, but Belgium, I mean, they can't do it at a major tournament, but they can certainly do it in qualification.
Definitely against Switzerland, Iceland. Yeah, I'm going to agree because Switzerland are just. I don't like their style.
Swiss football, it isn't really in decline. It's just not necessarily been there.
Okay, say. Group 3, Portugal, Italy, Poland. Now this is my this is what you can put in the title. Well, actually, I'm doing the title. This is what I can put in the title as kick player because I'm putting Poland first. I'm putting Portugal second and Italy third. So now I can A because that's what I think, and B because I put Italy to get relegated. But yeah, Poland are going to the semi-finals.
Portugal, I agree with. I mean, even without Ronaldo, I still think they've got a very good setup, especially after their Euros win, although I'm questioning about that. I say Italy second, but Poland have got Lewandowski, so in fairness, any team could finish anywhere in A3.
Yeah.
I'm just saying Portugal, Italy, Poland.
I'm doing Poland, Portugal, Italy.
Okay.
And the final group. I like how we left England to last, so they have to keep watching.
Yeah.
So, not by design, but anyway.
Yeah, it was by design. Who cares about England?
It wasn't. Spain, England, and Croatia. Probably like 90% of our viewers. Spain, England, and Croatia. Now, if you're talking about this being the World Cup, no, England would get relegated. I'm going to suggest that Spain won't care and England will. And I'm going to say England, Spain, Croatia. And the reason for that is I think that Spain could trip up against Croatia and England won't. I reckon that Croatia will nick at least 1 point off them. And I think that England, will probably draw and win, or draw and draw against Spain. It'll probably be quite boring. And I think England will completely shithouse their way to the finals.
I'm actually saying Spain, England, Croatia, because I agree with you, but I think Spain just have too much quality for England. Arguably Croatia just out there on their own. Given the level of the opponents they'll be facing, they might have a chance against England. They won't really have a chance against Spain, and so therefore I'm saying the way it was drawn or seeded: Spain, England, Croatia.
Yeah. Okay. So
there endeth the.
No, you have to. Yeah, you have to finish it. We have reached the conclusion of the Nations League. There's going to be some interesting games and some less interesting games, shall we say?
Lads, don't watch Group D unless you're desperate.
Yeah.
Basically, or Group C except from Scotland, because there'll be a laugh. Or Norway against Slovakia. That's an alright game.
Oh,
A and
or
B
Serbia,
is what you want.
Serbia v Montenegro. You can
Yeah,
watch
but that's just going to get called off 6 times.
yeah. Okay, but no, I'm really looking forward to San Marino versus Moldova.
I mean, either team could win that, and that's not normally something you're saying with either of those teams. But when they're playing each other, that is the that is the magic of the cup.
It's the league. It's the league.
It's the magic of the league.
It's the only international competition this league. Anyway, we've waffled on. The ending won't be like the podcast where Rowan goes into the rage.